Have you ever found yourself in a situation where someone else drops the ball, you immediately swoop in to pick it up? Maybe it's a coworker who misses a deadline and you stay late to finish their part, or perhaps it's a family member who isn't pulling their weight with chores, so you just do it all yourself to avoid conflict. If this sounds familiar, you might be overcompensating. It feels like you're being helpful, like you're the hero, but what if I told you that this habit is actually holding you back and, believe it or not, isn't helping them either? Let's explore why we do this. Often, this behavior comes from a good place. We want to be reliable, we want the project to succeed, or we just want to keep the peace at home. This can turn into what's known as a savior or rescuer complex. You see a problem, and your immediate instinct is to fix it, even if it is not yours to fix. You become the go-to person for everything, the one who always gets things done. It feels good for a while, right? You get praised for being so dedicated and hardworking. But here's the downside. When you constantly overcompensate, you create an imbalance. You're teaching others that they don't need to be accountable for their actions because you'll always be there to clean up the mess. Their inaction becomes your action. Their laziness inadvertently fuels your workload. You end up feeling exhausted, resentful, and overwhelmed, while they never learn to take responsibility for themselves. It's a cycle that's hard to break, and it can burn you out completely. So where does this urge to overcompensate come from? A lot of it is rooted in comparison and a fear of criticism. We look at someone slacking off and think, if this fails, people will blame all of us, including me. We worry about being associated with failure, so we work twice as hard to make up for their lack of effort. We tell ourselves we're just being conscientious, but really, we're being driven by the fear of what others might think. We internalize the group's potential failure as our own personal failure. This mindset is a trap. It ties your sense of self-worth to the success of the project or the harmony of the group, which are things you can't fully control, especially when others are involved. You start believing that your value comes from being the one who works the hardest, the one who saves the day. But that's a shaky foundation to build your self-esteem on. Your worth isn't measured by how much you do for others, especially when they're perfectly capable of doing it themselves. Let's reframe this. Instead of seeing someone's inaction as your cue to work harder, see it as a signal to focus on your own responsibilities and your own success. Their choice not to contribute is just their choice. It doesn't have to dictate your actions or your stress levels. Your job is to do your part to the best of your ability. Not to do your part and theirs too. By trying to control everything, you're not only taking on unnecessary stress, but you're also robbing them of a learning opportunity. This is especially true in family dynamics. Think about a household where one person does all the cleaning, cooking, and organizing. They might complain that no one else helps, but by constantly stepping in, they've unintentionally trained the rest of the family that they don't need to. The key here is communication, not overcompensation. Instead of silently picking up the socks left on the floor again, it's time to have a conversation. Talk about expectations, divide up the chores, and make it clear that everyone needs to contribute. It might be uncomfortable at first, but it's the only way to create a fair and balanced environment where you're not the designated rescuer. In a professional setting, the same principle applies. If you're on a team and a member isn't pulling their weight, your first instinct might be to just do their work to meet the deadline. A better approach is to address it head on. You could start by having a direct, non-confrontational conversation with them. Something like, "Hey, I'm working on my part of the project and I need your section by Wednesday to be able to integrate it. How's it coming along?" If that doesn't work, it's time to bring it to the attention of your manager or team lead. It's not about tattling. It's about ensuring the project's success and maintaining clear accountability for everyone on the team. By doing this, you're not just saving yourself from burnout. You're helping to build a stronger, more responsible team culture. A big part of breaking the overcompensation habit is learning how to deal with potential failure. Rescuers are often terrified of failure, but failure isn't the end of the world. It's a powerful teacher. When a project fails because someone didn't do their part, it's a clear consequence of their inaction. If you always swoop in to prevent that failure, you take away that lesson. Let people experience the natural consequences of their choices. It might feel harsh, but it's one of the most effective ways for people to learn and grow. When things do go wrong, it's important to reflect with intention, not to ruminate. Rumination is when you get stuck in a loop of negative thoughts, like I should have worked harder, or it's all my fault. Intentional reflection, on the other hand, is about asking constructive questions. What was my role in this? What was within my control? What was outside of my control? What can I learn from this for next time? This kind of reflection helps you grow without taking on misplaced blame. It helps you see the situation clearly and separates your responsibilities from others. Ultimately, this all comes down to building a stronger sense of self-worth that isn't tied to your achievements or how much you do for others. Your value as a person is inherent. It doesn't increase when you save a failing project, and it doesn't decrease when you let someone else face the consequences of their inaction. Start practicing self-compassion. Remind yourself that it's okay to have boundaries. It's okay to say no. It's okay to let someone else fail. Your job is not to manage everyone else's life or career. Your job is to manage your own. So how do we put this into practice? Start by focusing on what you can actually control. You can't control your coworkers' work ethic. You can't control your family members' tidiness, but you can control your own actions, your own reactions, and your own boundaries. When you feel that urge to step in and rescue a situation, pause, ask yourself, is this my responsibility? What will happen if I don't do this? Am I helping this person or am I enabling them? This pause is powerful. It gives you a moment to choose a different response. Instead of automatically jumping into action, you can choose to communicate. You can choose to delegate. You can choose to let go. This doesn't mean you become unhelpful or uncaring. It means you're being strategic with your energy and respectful of your own limits. It means you're shifting from being a rescuer to being a responsible and collaborative team member or partner. In group projects or teams, one of the most effective ways to prevent the need for overcompensation is to establish clear roles and responsibilities from the very beginning. When everyone knows exactly what they're supposed to do and by when, it's much harder for free riders to coast along. Create a shared document or chart that outlines each person's tasks. Have regular check-ins to track progress. When responsibilities are clear and public, it creates a sense of shared accountability. It's no longer just you noticing that someone is slacking off. The whole team can see it. This makes it easier to address the issue as a group, rather than you feeling like you have to solve it all on your own. Don't let someone else's inaction become an excuse for your own potential burnout. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, if I don't do it, it won't get done. But maybe, just maybe, some things don't need to get done by you. Maybe someone else needs to learn how to do it. Or maybe the consequences of it not getting done are exactly what's needed for change to happen. You are not responsible for carrying the weight of the world, or even the weight of your team, on your shoulders. Your energy is a finite resource. Spend it on your own growth, your own responsibilities, and the things that truly bring you joy and fulfillment. Let go of the need to be the hero in every situation. The most heroic thing you can do is to take care of yourself, set healthy boundaries, and empower others to be responsible for themselves. It's a win-win for everyone involved. You get your time and energy back, and they get the opportunity to learn and grow. The next time you see someone dropping the ball, remember, it is not your cue to work harder. It is your cue to communicate, to set boundaries, and to focus on what you can control. That is the true path to sustainable success and personal well-being. Thank you so much for watching. If this video resonated with you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. See you in the next one.